Hey guys, Joe here. First off, a little bit of housekeeping. Apologies that we've been really sparse on the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos of late. I've had a bit of a weird month that's kept me in different places and some personal stuff that's made it difficult to stick to a schedule or even really do anything. I do plan to clear that up. We're getting back into the swing of things here now. I will be changing the stream time from Thursday evenings to Tuesday evenings. Pacific time around 6 o'clock p.m. But more about that later. Today I just wanted to make a quick video about Chief Nebit and how he has started to fit into the Droids team. You know, most of you guys out there know that I run Droids. And I just thought it was about time I did a video because I really do think now with the addition of Nebit that Droids really probably are the number one free-to-play team, apart from maybe some Anakin builds, which I'm working towards. Maybe make about those another day. But I just wanted a video to really pick apart the nuts and bolts of this Droids team as it stands with Chief Nebit in. Now that all of the players, all of the team members are synergizing with each other, it's a real team. And anyone who's been watching our shows for a while will know that we're into that idea much more than some of the other teams that are out there that use more simple synergy. So we're going to have a look at the team, have a bit of a fight. It's actually coming up to my payout soon, so we'll do some real life hunting for number one. And have a bit of fun along the way, and I'll try to explain myself as I go. Now, just because we're getting so close to my payout, I'm going to start off just going straight into a battle. So let's go. We can take on 9 if we refresh. Alright, let's just do 10. We're going to take on this Anakin team here. What do we got? We got Anakin, Stormtrooper Han, Royal Guard, Fives, and Qui-Gon. So we're really going to want to kill Anakin as quickly as we can. Let's see if we can do that. So here's the team. We've got HK-47 lead, IG-86, IG-88, Jawa Engineer, and Chief Nebit, the new Jawa that was added with the mods update. All free-to-play players, they can all be farmed easily. HK-47, IG-88, and Chief Nebit all come from arena shipments though, so it is quite a lot of work. IG-86 easiest of them all. You just go to Galactic War. You normally got, if you're level 80 and you're playing at a competitive level, you've probably got too many Galactic War credits, and if you're not, well, they're easy to come by. And finally, Jawa Engineer, who comes from the guild shipments. Now, Jawa Engineer is probably the hardest one here because if you've got guilds unlocked and you're playing and you're raiding and getting guild points, you will know that Jawa Engineer is not always there, and it seems like when you really want him or her to be there, she or he is not. So get started if you want to build a team like this, but let's go in battle. I want to get this battle out of the way so I can get my cooldown refreshing. Alright, so as you say, we want to take out Anakin because those AoEs are just powerful. And you see I did Jawa Engineer's ability to speed everyone up. That's pretty much the standard first turn, the nuts and bolts of this team. Jawa Engineer's ability makes all droids and Jawas gain turn meter and double critical chance. So these will all pretty much be crits to start with, and you'll see we get to put a lot of damage down early doors. Now I've put some mods on my characters to make them even more powerful. I'll go into those a little later in the gaps between fights, but let's see if we can kill Anakin here. There we go, hitting hard as planned, and that was a level. That was a maxed out Anakin, gear level 11, all of that. Now here comes Chief Nebit. Now Chief Nebit is amazing. Chief Nebit can taunt and lower the cooldown of characters. Again, we'll go into the characters one by one later in the gaps between my cooldowns, but I'm going to taunt here, and that'll mean IG-86 can go straight in with another assist attack, which will one-shot that Qui-Gon there. I can almost guarantee it, especially if we hit him first with a little HK-47. Like to get those grenades onto Fives because Fives cannot counter a grenade shot. This would be an easy kill. 20k. Ouchie. And we can get that ability block on again. Bam. So no Stormtrooper Han. Though at this point, I probably want to kill Stormtrooper Han anyway. So while just popping grenades onto 5s over there. Now we got Nebit's double assist. Ouch, ouch. That was actually very fortunate for me because it didn't trigger Royal Guard. And there goes Stormtrooper hand. And as you can see, I've barely been touched and pretty much wrecking shop. Let's do that boost again. And we'll lay into Royal Guard. Though at this point, it's really all over. I'm just playing tactically to show the importance of getting those grenades on 5s because he will never counter attack a grenade throw, so they're good to just stack up on him. And when they do, and Jawa Engineer, his grenades do damage. They do some serious damage. They hit for quite a lot. I don't know if you've been monitoring how much damage they're doing, but each grenade does a good over 10k. And so it's nothing to turn your nose up at. And then we have easy win, 10th place. Okay, so there's the team in action. As you can see, it made pretty quick work of that particular team. Just a little bit of juice there. And while we wait for that cooldown, I'm going to do a little bit of a rundown of the team. So let's just start by looking at the team members themselves. Okay, so in the Droids team, what we'll do to make it easier is we'll go to Galactic War and we'll set up the team in here. Oops. You and you and you and you and you. Oh, you know what's going to happen? It's going to back out as soon as I do a fight. So we'll do a quick Galactic War fight just to keep those guys in there. It's going to make it much easier to look at them. This will be a very quick fight. The reason I'm doing this is because when you put a team into a Galactic War but you don't actually start the fight, then you go in and look at the character statistics. When you back out again to go back at the team, it will have reverted to the team that was in there when you first put it in. But if you do a fight like this, real quick, they will stay in there, and then we can have a nice look at them. Just checking the time here, 20 past 5. My payout is 6 p.m. my local time, so we want to make sure we're in the contention for first place. Right, so now Galactic War, let's take a look at the team. So, HK47, I had a question actually from one of my guildmates the other day. Do you think you can make a Droids team without HK47 as the lead? And my simple answer is no. Really, HK47 is the MVP of this team. And I'll show you why. So, the primary attack, pretty straightforward. You might get a fence up, but it doesn't really matter because HK47 isn't doing damage. But if he does a little bit more, it helps. Now this grenade is a beast, especially if you can get some potency mods onto HK47. Basically, it's a AoE attack that has the chance to do every debuff in the game. Ability block, speed down, offense down, defense down, and damage over time. And that's doubled against Jedis, which means seeing lots of Anakins around these days, not such a bad thing. And here is why you want HK47 in your team. Droid allies gain 30% critical chance and gain 50% turn meter on a critical hit. Now you'll remember Jawa Engineer is giving everyone double critical chance, plus a couple of mods to up that critical chance a bit more. You are critical hitting every time pretty much. So this 50% turn meter just snowballs and it grows and it grows, and you're just attacking at such a speed nothing can keep up. And then he has the chance to bring himself back to life. That's kind of handy. Once or twice a month I might have a fight where HK47's the last guy hanging on and his little self-revive there actually saves the day. Now as for mods, you can see I haven't done much modding on HK47. I basically just bunged in the best 5-star health mods I could find, but I didn't focus too much on his mods, just get his health up, a little bit of potency. Next up, IG86. Now IG86 is scarily good now, and we'll show you why. So do physical damage with an additional 50% chance of a critical hit, so you are critical hitting that is a guarantee. And here is what makes IG-86 so great. Deal physical damage and call an assist. If the assisting ally is a droid, both of them have an additional 75% critical damage. So you've got a 50% chance that you're going to call one of the other droids, and that makes IG-86 hit for such a huge amount. When those ones come in, it's over 20k with my particular IG-86 against any kind of defense. I've never seen it hit for less than 20k, and that's big. And then here we have more critical chance and critical damage. So those two droids giving him another 40% critical damage. Now on top of that, I have modded him up to have a full set of critical damage mods, with one of them with a perfect roll, 36% critical damage on it. So if we go into his stats, what you'll see is he has a critical damage rating of 216% before the additional bonuses are added from his particular abilities. So he just hits like an absolute truck. As you saw, we just pretty much one-shot Anakin in that last round, and not many teams are doing that. Alright, moving on to IG-88. Here he is, and you can see I've omega'd everyone's abilities here. They really are worthwhile. Just the little things you don't even think will help, like for example, IG-88's inflict healing immunity for 2 turns on his basic is really helpful when you've got a Rey and you don't quite kill her and she gets stuck behind like a Royal Guard's automatic taunt. You can just say, oh well, I don't care. She can't at least use her, because Rey has very high self-heal from attacking, and so this negates that. So at least when you get back round to Rey, she hasn't healed herself back to full and you have to start from scratch. She's normally ready to one-shot as soon as RG is out of the way, whether you kill RG or whether you wait for the taunt to go away. Now here's what IG-88 is really here for. This sweep ability block for 1 turn, a 50% chance to inflict defense down for 2 turns. Once you've got defense down and 86 attacks, it is terrifying. So what I've done is I've used mods to ensure that 88 is slightly faster than 86 to make sure that 88 always drops his AoE sweep before 88 attacks, before 86 attacks. Sorry, confusing. 88's the black one, 86 is the grey one. So that way there's more chance of offense down being there, and having another team, most of the team ability blocked before they get to have a turn is really huge as well. And then the leader skill, we don't need to look at it right now. And again, 45% critical damage and deals 20 more damage for each enemy suffering a negative status effect. So that what I would like to do in the future when I get the right mods is make HK47 go before IG-88. So it goes HK, 88, 86, and that way his HK47 grenade can get the debuffs on, so then 88 gets 20% more damage for any negative effects they got from that, and then IG-86 comes in and really slams into people. Then we've got our Jawa Engineer. Now Jawa Engineer really is a bit of a one-trick pony. You can see I've got my Jawa Engineer's speed up to 223. Once you have the Droid's ability, and you'll see here his unique skill, 10 speed for every Jawa or Droid ally. The whole team is Jawa and Droid, so that's plus 40 speed. So you're really looking at 263 speed, which is bananas. There's only one thing that's going to make any other character go first. Sorry, I'm looking at my window because it's crazy thunder. Ooh. Only thing that's going to put a spanner in this works is when you see more Rebel Han, you know, the Raid Han and his immediate stun at the beginning of the round. That's really going to mess with this team, but at the moment that's not really a concern, so it's still going strong. And so as we saw in the first battle, we're putting detonators on, and that's cool, and it's great for getting around countering characters. They do a lot of damage, they're pretty cool. Healing and reviving a droid, pretty cool as well. Plus it heals everyone for 30% of their max health, so it's great for healing up your taunt as well. Your taunt being Nebit, which we'll get to. But here is why you have Jawa Engineer. All allies gain critical chance up for 2 turns, and Jawa and droids gain 45% turn meter. Okay, let's speed this up because this is getting really into the nitty gritty and we probably have a fight ready to go. Okay, we'll do a fight and then we'll come back to have a little look at Chief Nebit, the new star of the show, and why He is so good. Now, I don't want to fight Sam THF because I know he has the same payout as me. And so all that's going to happen is when we go away, we're going to come back and he will have just knocked me back down. So we'll go for 7th. We've got plenty of time to fight. I can't be bothered to refresh until we see 5th. I'll probably do 7, then 2, and then wait. And snipe it right before the payout. So as we said, now we've looked at those abilities. We've got Jawa Engineer going first. He speeds everyone up. Then 88 goes. Now, as I said, I want to try to get HK47 to go before IGA, all these numbers, at some point when I get the mods, but I've kind of stopped farming mods for the meantime. So let's have a look at this team. It's a pretty standard Phasma team. See this a lot. You got to kill Ray. There we go. And there goes Ray. Ooh, he didn't hit very hard there. There's me saying it never goes below 20k, and then it did. Alright, so we're going to get that taunt up, make everyone's cooldowns go down a little bit. And you can see like there's debuffs all over the show. Poor Qui-Gon Jinn gets slammed by this particular team. He doesn't stand a chance. Get a little grenade on him. No, we won't. And we got to try to kill. Okay, so we kind of overhit there, but luckily with all these mods and the bonuses and everything, really even maxed out Royal Guards all modded up to have crazy health are not a concern. You can shred through them in a couple of attacks. Now, I'm going to heal here. I just want to keep my taunt alive. And we get that sweep on. We might even kill Genosian Soldier. No. You see the basic attack is even hitting for 10k, you know. So these Royal Guards aren't as scary as they once were. Oh wow. We'll get the AoE. And tidy up the rest. Easy win again. Wow, okay, so now I'm only hitting for 13k. But anyway, it's hard enough. It does the job. And we'll auto the rest. They must have high defense mods on their characters or something. Right, so let's go back in and take a look at Chief Nebit and why Chief Nebit is so good. Oh, look, Mobile Gamer's in number 3. He's got a very good YouTube channel. You should go check it out. I've also been asked by members of my guild to make sure I beat him if I do any videos because it's fun. And I know his payout is nowhere near mine, so I don't feel too bad if I just take him out because it might be funny. And we can go taunt him in the comments of his own YouTube channel. Why not? What was I doing? Yes, let's have a look at Nebit. Now here he is, the new boy. Slash girl, I don't know. Oops, I didn't hold down for long enough. Chief Nebit. Now, as you can see, I have not quite got it up to max gear yet. We can go in and I need to get one of these guys, but I'm 10 away from doing that. And I'm just slowly gathering all the stuff I need for this, so I think I've got quite a lot of energy. Let's just go grab some grenades. Now, Chief Nebit, as soon as it came out, anyone who runs Droids had one look at him and said, I want that immediately. And he's proving to be as good as the numbers and the statistics and, more importantly, the abilities and synergies looked at on the surface. So let's take a look. First, primary attack. This is pretty cool. He does hit very, very, very weakly. I mean, it's real. Probably the lowest damage I've seen any character output. Physical damage with 70% chance up, 70% chance to grant protection up, equal to 20% of Nebit's max health for 2 turns to a random ally who is not stealthed. Wow, it's a mouthful, but what it means essentially is he can give protection up, which is very cool. And 20% of his max health is quite a large number. As we'll see, with mods and everything, his health is up at 31,611. So 20% of that is a good few thousand points of protection, right? Now we've got the taunt. Now this is where he just starts to look really cool to a droid player. Taunts for 2 turns, gains heal over time for 3 turns, and reduces the cooldowns of all Jawa and droid allies by 1. So that's why you want him going last, and that's not a problem because he is slow. In fact, I sped him up a little bit with mods just so he's not ridiculously slow, but making sure, of course, I keep him to go last, so you get the most value out of that cooldown. But like I say, not too much trouble because he is slow as all hell in any case. And then double back-to-back 86 assists, which is nuts. Then we got this. Physical damage to target enemy and call a random ally to assist, dealing 20% less damage. If the assisting ally is a Jawa or a Droid, call another random ally to assist. All Jawa called to assist gain stealth for 3 turns. So this means anyone who calls for an assist is getting something out of it, because the team consists of nothing but Droids and Jawas. So if it's a Droid, we do double assist, and if it's a Jawa, which is only Jawa Engineer, Jawa Engineer gets stealth, which is great because you really want to keep Jawa Engineer alive, and of course you can't target someone who's stealthed. So yeah, all in all, this is a great ability. And one thing I will say is the double assist, I thought that was going to be completely insane, dealing a ridiculous amount of damage, but actually, as we've seen in the fights that we've done, it's a good hit, but it's not that insane. If you happen to call both 86 and 88, that 20% down does take the bite off of it a little bit. It's still a great hit, and I'm not complaining that my taunt also has an assist, which is nuts. But it's not the big deal that I thought it was when I first looked at it, but it is not a bad thing and not something I am sad about. And then finally, his leader. Again, we're not using a leader here. This might be a fun leader skill one day to experiment with. 30% critical chance and critical chance down on a critical hit. But my droids have such good critical chance anyway that there's no need. And as for mods, all health because of the protection up. The more health he has, the more protection up he gives. So you're going to want to just health mod the heck out of this guy, which is great because they're the easiest ones to get. Besides, he's a taunt, so you want him alive. But that's it. Wow. Really a kind of in-depth look there. Now, I won't go too much into the mods, but what I will say is pretty much what's obvious is you're going to be using your mods to get the speed order, to get the attack order just right, which I believe to be HK first, 88 second, 86 third. Well, of course, this is after Jawa Engineer goes first and does his, everyone speeds up, but then in terms of attacking, HK 47 first, then 88, then 86, then Nebit. And that is probably the turn order you're going to want to tweak your little mod knobs to achieve. And then in terms of the characters, you really just want to strengthen their own skills. So get some potency onto 88 and onto HK 47, get some crit damage onto 86, get some health onto Nebit, and get just some health and speed onto Jawa Engineer, because Jawa Engineer is quite squishy. You want to keep Jawa Engineer alive. So there you have it. What I believe to be the best free-to-play team in the game. All easily achievable. It is a bit stacked into the arena shipments, but that's not the end of the world. So let's go back. We should have a fight ready to go. 2 minutes. Alright. Well, let's go redeem now. I don't even know what I'm going to get next. I guess I'll go for Grand Moff Tarkin. Just because I want some Empire characters for the mod challenges. Now, speaking of mod challenges, I made a video a while back about getting my Jawa team together to beat the critical damage mods challenge. That's going to want to be a priority of yours if you decide to run this particular droids team, because as we saw, getting those critical damage mods on to IG-86 is a real boost to the team. It really took it up a notch and made it a very scary opponent. I've noticed myself dropping far less since I did that than I was before. Now, one thing I will say about this droids team is on defense, it is the worst. It's awful. It's not too bad. It's hard to build, hard to beat just because it has that early advantage. But I've seen many videos of people fighting against it. I've run my own team in auto mode to see what kind of shenanigans it gets up to. And let me tell you, it plays real dumb. It tends to just spray attacks all over the place. That does not capitalize on that early advantage you get from Jawa Engineer, as we've seen. You know, and as you can see when I'm fighting, the first thing I ask myself when I look at a team is who gets to die first. Because we are a team of assassin droids, and so that's what we do. We assassinate. But once you've made your assassination, everyone knows where you are, and then the team is vulnerable because it's not a very health-filled team. The taunt is a good taunt, but is actually kind of squishy as far as taunts go. It's so once you've got rid of that first character and you're in a 4v5 situation, you're usually okay, but there are times where you misjudge the damage and you don't quite kill that target and it gets stuck behind 2 taunts and you can lose. But generally speaking, on offense, you win 99% of the time. It's defense where this team struggles, because instead of carefully picking out a target, taking them down, and then slowly picking off people in the right kill order, what it will do is it just go and just attack a random selection of people. You know, I've seen it just focus down old Ben and kill him first sometimes, and if you've played against old Ben and you kill him, he gives buffs to the entire team, and he's also the least of your concerns in an old Ben team, which is usually running some DPS threat like Rey. So yeah, on defense, unfortunately, this team still kind of sucks, but on the offense, as we can see, nothing can really get in its way. That is until Han, big boy Han. Oh, I've been knocked back, as you can see. This is what happens. You just can't stay up there. You wind up having to just hope that people ignore you, and in this case they didn't. So I guess we'll go in and try to take on this team in 7th. This is why it's so hard to get first. My server is particularly active at my payout time. Usually in the 10 minutes between battles, I wind up getting knocked down once, if not twice. Okay, so Jawa Engineer goes first. G88 goes second. Hopefully we'll get the ability block. Yep, on Anakin. Alright, now we've just got to hope. Now here is an interesting one. I don't want to attack Rey, because I can tell with that defense down that I will not kill her, but I will go past 50%, triggering RG and potentially losing myself the match. So I'm going to put this into Han, and then hope that this is enough to one-shot Rey, and it is. And then we get all of our abilities back. Now, another thing grenades are great for is they do not trigger Han's turn meter shenanigans. And now here's where we're a little bit vulnerable, because Qui-Gon has taken down Nebit's taunt, and they're going to start to focus JE, or worse, one of my DPSs. And Anakin does hit very hard. Here we go. Okay, just about held on there. As you can see, these Anakin teams can be dangerous. Now the AoE goes off. What we do need here is we need... Okay, that's good. We need JE to come back to life without dying. Now I'm fighting against 2 Jedis. Okay, that was very lucky there. And you can see JE. Now we get the taunt back again, and we should be okay, but that was a close one. You can see it is possible to lose. I might even still lose this. In fact, it looks like I probably will. Yeah, so that didn't go so well for me. This guy's got a particularly horrible team for me to fight. So yeah, you can see that some Anakin teams can be tough sometimes, especially the double taunt ones. Anakin just hits so hard. But that's about it for the team. I don't think it'll be particularly fun to sit here and wait for another 7 minutes for me to have another battle, but I think you get the gist. Now, as you can see here, I would say probably the second best free-to-play team you could ask to go and get is those Anakin teams you see there on the screen at the current time. I've got one of those in the works. Just wanted to finish Nebit before I go back to building it. I think the double taunt variation is really good if you're a pay-to-play player and you've got a Sunfac or something like that instead of a Stormtrooper Han, and even a couple of clones instead of Rey and Qui-Gon. You can really make a scary team. It's not very nice to play against. I probably shouldn't have fought against that team because it doesn't particularly line up well with mine. But as you can see, it's a pretty powerful team. I can hang out and take first with it on a pretty active server, and so can you. You just got to go out and get it, build it, mod it, get it to top level, which should only take you about 9 months, and then have some fun with it. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to get back to streaming at the middle of next week. I'm going to be Tuesday evening Pacific time, about 6 p.m. and that's moved from Thursday, where it was before, just because my new work schedule means that I'm not free on the time that I used to record. So anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching the vid. We'll be doing lots of other stuff, with Pokemon Go. Come and have a look at that. Even if you're not playing the game, there's some pretty fun videos. They're not very strategy heavy because, well, there's no strategy. And they're just a bit of fun. I was running around having a good time. So come by the Discord if you're part of the Team Skunk guilds, or even if you're not, come in for a chat. And I'll see you in the next time. Bye.